Hello, all you beautiful souls. Peace and love to you all.
Hey.
Today I wanted to talk to you about a subject that I've been watching a lot of gurus explain, and I've explained it myself in some videos, but I thought I'd go more into detail in it. How to become a god. Not the god, a god. And first I want to start the difference between a god and the god. The main thing that's causing the confusion in today's society is that people are looking for God in the sky. It's the mighty man. They think they're not so much, so a God should be a big man in the sky or something. That's the confusion that most religions live in today. They're looking for God in the sky. But the real definition of what God means that you go inwards, like in in what is it called? A dictionary.
A dictionary.
Yeah, in a dictionary. The meaning of God is you go inwards in yourself and lose the sense of self. And that's what God is. When you lose your ego, you go in, love everything, and totally honest with yourself, humble, kind, with everything within, then the frequency of consciousness will become God frequency. And I can call it God, people call it God, but in Taoism or Taoism, however you want to pronounce it, I think both work. It's called Tao or Tao. And that's basically the same thing. It's a frequency, it's an energy of consciousness that we all have within us. And in the yogic ways, it's called Kundalini, the life force, the energy. You can call it the source, you can call it.
Castao. No, the force.
Yeah, the force is
the
the
force.
And the source is just what people call it in more like quantum physics and stuff like this. And there's so many ways to explain it. So I'm gonna light a joint.
Straight in.
The thing is about doing this is it takes a lot of the discipline, but not too much discipline, because too much discipline is also like this stressing you out. It takes self-love, I would say fasting, eating healthy, stretching, a lot of deep breathing, being able to meditate and sit still for like 20 minutes at least, and be able to do this and takes mindfulness to be able to clear the mind and find peace within. And the thing when you reach this state is that no matter where you are and what happens to you, whatever circumstances happens in the external world, the outside world, you will still be happy. You will see the positive and the teachings in everything that could ever happen. Because even if something negative happens, there's a teaching in it. And if you find the teaching within that experience that didn't seem that amazing in the moment, you'll find the teaching in it and you learn something. And learning is a positive thing. We grow. So there's always a positive in everything. We develop in the negative until we see the positive in everything. And that's what truly becoming God means. You become your inner self, or you can also call it your higher self, a lot of people call it. It's just a state of mind, a frequency of your heart and the soul and the oneness of the whole universe, and realizing that everything's the same. For me, it took a lot of fasting, eating healthy, and practicing just loving everything. But what really, psychedelics really help. But if you do it, psychedelics are like what Sadhguru calls Kundalini yoga. It's like the most dangerous one that can make or break you. And the thing is, because it activates it so fast. So if you reach that state and then you're not prepared or ready mentally or haven't solved all the things in your head, it can really send you to a mental hospital, basically, almost. So practicing discipline first, learning how to fast, learning how to eat what your body wants so your body feels good all the time, and learning these disciplines, meditation, yoga, and just slowly building up. You don't have to be like Kundalini yoga instantly. You start with different stretchings, you start meditating 5 minutes or 2 minutes, then you increase it every day and you become better and better at life, and just focus on growing instead of focus on jumping directly to poof, everything's perfect. Everybody is in the stage of their journey, so they're growing. There's no quick fix for stuff. It just takes a lot of love and a lot of just staying in the now, the present moment. But then it also takes contemplation. So that's not being in the present moment. That takes sitting down. Instead of meditating, you think and you answer all the whys in your head and all the questions you have for yourself, your ego thinks, you basically reprogram your subconscious until it's all quiet and you understand it. And even if it keeps going, you don't give energy to those thoughts. You don't identify with your thoughts that you have. You know you're love. You know you are one with everything. So if a thought that's not pure love comes in your mind, just let it pass. It's just natural for thoughts to flow. It can be the environment around us, other people that we connect to their thoughts or energies or whatever. But if we truly know ourselves, then we know God. That's what it means. Know yourself. That's what every single person in all philosophies of life are saying. The Roman Stoicism, whatever it's called, the Taoists, the Buddhists, the Hindu, there's all the different ones. There's so many ones. The Rastas, the Mayans, they all say the same thing. It's going within to become your own personal God. Not the God, there is no the God. Everyone is one. I like to think of, I practice all of these spiritual practices, but I like to call it one thing, oneness. That's what they all practice, being one with everything, being, realizing that I am you and you are me. You're just an extension of me and I'm just an extension of you. We're the same thing. So any problem, anger, anything you have that's a worry or a anger and problems, issues, things, it comes from you, within. There's no one to point the finger at. It's only yourself you have to work on. And if you're willing to be humble, honest with your bad habits, your habits that doesn't generate a positive life for you, if you start trying to change them with love and realizing what they are and constantly try to grow every day, life will just become better and better. And once you reach a stage of you love everything and you feel everything is perfect, you're still gonna keep growing and learning more all the time. You're never really done with growing your soul, your mind, your body. It's an endless journey. And the thing is, if we get attached to stuff like objects, material objects, people, and we feel like we're not happy without them, then we're getting happiness from an external source, from the things around us. Of course, the things around us make us happy, but first the happiness has to come from within. If you're happy within, you're happy with everything that happens in your life all the time. I'm not saying when someone dies, you're supposed to be like, yay, my best friend died, but I'm saying you can handle it. You know, time heals all wounds, and you can try to find a positive mindset about it and see the positive, what you learned from that friend and what he had to show you and what you can, whatever, how you can just live on in his memory, keep him in your heart is a hard example, but I just wanted to use a harsh example. There's a positive in everything. You have something to say?
I'm just listening.
And one thing I really had to do was growing up in this kind of government that we live in, this weird system where they brainwash us since birth and put us with vaccines and tell us pills is the way to fix stuff. I grew a big hate for the government and the schools and the system in general. So while awakening, I went into hate a bit, and because I think that's also part of the journey, because there's a thin line between love and hate. But then somehow I met a person, we did some guided meditations and we opened up to each other and we really talked about traumas and being totally honest with someone, or with, this is possible to do with yourself, but opening up to someone else can really break a barrier within you that you're truly able to share your life like an open book. And once you're able to share every single thing about your life like an open book, then there's no more secrets, then there's no more mind that's constantly going, asking questions, there's more mindfulness and peace within you. And talking about that, I hated the government, and the person explained to me that everything is love, it's just for learning lessons, and I truly listened, and I resonated with it, and I learned to get over my hate for the government and love every single thing in it, because I am the government too, and the government is me, and every single thing, the stones, everything is made of the same thing. It's the source, God, energy, Tao, whatever you want to call it. It's just life. It's life force, Kundalini. And you can practice things like even if you reach that state once in a meditation or in a trip or something, it's easy to go down and forget about it and go back to your normal life. So it takes almost daily practice to keep this vibration in your body and stuff. for me, it's like I've grasped it, I know it, but I can still fall down in a lower vibration if I'm eating shitty, drinking a lot of alcohol. When I wake up, sure, I get it, everything's love, I am everyone and everything, but my energy is not there. So it's discipline is important. And without it, if you don't have some discipline while trying to reach this state and trying to take the quick ways or whatever, you start with Kundalini or you start with 20 drops of acid, I don't know, you smoke a lot of DMT, then it could break you because you haven't built up all the tools to be like the full thing without breaking your mind or your heart or your soul. One thing Sadhguru said when I watched a video yesterday was that you can reach all these stages, you can open up all your chakras. We talk about the 7 chakras now, not the 112 or 14 that the yogics say. The 7 ones, you can reach through your third eye, and then to go to your crown, basically, it's a leap of faith, or you're getting guided. So he says basically you have to be insane and just jump into it, or you have to have deep trust within someone who really guides you through it. And for me, it was, I didn't have a person or something. I watched a lot of gurus, I watched a lot of YouTube about videos, about things. But the biggest thing was for me, I took acid in intention to like travel dimensions and open my mind. And then I put on Mr. Traumatic and I lay down in my bed, and that was like my awakening. It was like, they say you have to have trust and guidance, so on and so on. And if someone like Mr. Traumatics makes a whole album called Truth Hurts, explaining the whole world and consciousness and governments and everything and what you're supposed to eat, how you have a long lifespan, love, that everything is love, everyone is one, there's no such thing as loneliness. Once you get all of this, so basically having a master is part of the journey, because you gotta accept to learn to listen to someone who knows more about these things than you, and not blindly trusting them, but if you feel that they're telling the truth, it's gonna resonate with you and you're gonna want to listen to them and learn from them. But you can for sure do it on your own also, but I would like to think that it takes longer, because we're all one, and the more everybody's a messenger for everybody. So if we truly listen to someone, even if the person is not in a awake state or something, they probably has some message. You can learn from their perspective and learn what their traumas are, and once you learn more things about traumas and people's issues and problems, you have more tools to help people deal with these issues and traumas and whatever. And then you can heal. You can help them heal. And I think you can never heal someone just by being and like just, I'm gonna heal you. A true healer tells someone that they are the person that can heal themselves. The only thing that can truly make you happy and make you feel good comes from within you. No matter what I say, I'm just giving you guys a rough guideline, advice of what to do. But the only person who can actually truly make you happy and feel in love with every moment of life is you, within your higher self, your God frequency, our God frequency. We are one thing. We are one energy, one source of energy that is split up to individualized bodies and things, and we're all one. You have anything more to add?
Our perspectives are different.
Our perspectives are different.
Yeah, that we're all one in essence, at the core. We're all human. I think the current thing going on with Black Lives Matter, it's triggering something in me to want to share that all lives matter, and not only human, also animals that we share this planet with, all the species,
the trees,
all everything. It's all one, but we as humans share different perspectives of the same thing somehow. So it's an interesting sort of duality that both are true simultaneously and not.
I think it's basically the Black Lives Matter things, if we're going to go a little bit to that, it's just another separation technique from the government.
Yeah, exactly.
To put the focus on one thing, that these lives matter, and then...
What about the others? The same with the virus. If everybody's focus is on the virus, then what about all of the people that still are in need of help. The children in countries,
Poor countries, Africa, whatever.
so many things going on, and if our focus is primarily on one thing, then we're not paying attention anymore to everything else going on around. So to raise our awareness, to try to be more still and silent and breathing and observing the world around us, where do we fit into that?
And the thing about the virus that I want to tell a really important message about it is that everybody everybody, you can Google it, everybody's on their computer, on YouTube. If you don't know what placebo is you take a sugar pill from a doctor and they tell you it's something. They do it in an experiment. You give the real drug and you give a placebo pill to someone. And a lot of the people are going to get healed from the placebo pill or feel the effect that they were told that it is. It's because the mind is so strong. So when it truly believes it, it happens. It happens to us. And there's another thing called nocebo, which is the opposite of placebo. Is when you say to someone that they're sick, or there's a flu, or there's a virus, and everybody believes it. Even if it's not a real virus, it's gonna become real because everybody believes it. And that's the nocebo effect. It's the thing when you go to a doctor and they can tell you have cancer. You don't have cancer, but you believe them, so suddenly you have cancer. That's a harsh example, but that's how it works. There's science behind it. You can Google it for sure and learn about nocebo and placebo. And one thing I also wanted to say about all these things is that there's Taoist yogas, there's Buddhist yoga things, and everybody's trying to say the same thing. But I would recommend you to find what resonates with you. Do your own research, check what yoga fits you. There's realizations yogas only, like, I don't remember what it's called, like Ashtanga yoga or something. It's like,
there's yoga, there's meditation, there's mantras, there's affirmations,
there's so many things. I'm not saying that practicing all of them is the way. I'm saying find your way, what you love to do, and do what you love every day. And also with the self-love, it's like the past is the past. If you have things coming up in your mind about the past, I shoulda, coulda, woulda, I didn't do this, would have been better if I studied this when I was supposed to have this, or it's in the past. Everything that's happened in the past, see the message that the past has to give you. If there's a thing that keeps happening, there's a loop of mistake, of the same mistake over and over again. Become aware what you're doing, why you're doing that mistake. Learn from the past to grow in the now. The now is always the time. The future, the past is just things. They don't really exist. They're like, they'll happen, but you're still in the now. And the before was also the now, but the mind makes up the past in the mind. And there's no way to live through the past and be happy. Because if you're constantly in the past, then you're not in the now. And in the now, everything is perfect. So learn what the past has to teach you, move on from it, love everything that ever happened to you, even if it was an experience that didn't seem nice in the beginning. You can learn to love everything from your past, because even if there was an experience that fucked you up a little bit, the now, the person you are now, where you're trying to find love, you're trying to find inner peace, you're trying to be kind to everybody, be humble and loving to everything, those experiences brought you to the now, here and now, where you're watching this and you're trying to open up your mind and heart and soul, and you become one with, synchronize your heart, body and soul, whatever you call it, mind, body and soul. And the future is whatever you do in the now. The now is always creating the future. So if you say I'm gonna do this in a week, then probably you're not gonna do it. If you say I'm gonna do it now, then you started doing it. But you can of course set goals that you want to do in a week and stuff like this also, but don't put pressure on yourself. If the things that you truly want to do, don't can you say the word?
procrastinate.
Yeah, that. Don't procrastinate about it. Just do it if you truly want to do it, or it will be in your mind all the time.
At least a little bit in the present moment. Like, to start each day, a tiny little bit of something. Say you want to start meditating daily or once a week, then do it now for however long you feel comfortable with, and then the next day or the following week or whenever you next feel like, try and do it for a little bit longer, or start off slowly and then build it up. however the pace that you feel comfortable with. And whatever it may be for you, it may be really extreme physical sport, yoga. For others, it may be just sitting still and breathing, and anything that makes you feel more present and relaxed, because being present and being relaxed are like one and the same. If you are not relaxed, then you are not in the present moment, and if you are not in the present moment, you're probably not relaxed. And relaxation can be reached in every moment by sitting comfortably.
For breathing, I would always recommend Wim Hof. It's probably one of the easiest thing to do. He has a YouTube video where he guides you Wim Hof breathing method, and he guides you easily in the beginning stage of it. And it's super easy, and it just makes you feel good. Your whole body starts vibrating. You feel the energy flowing through your veins, and you can feel your heart beat. And it's just like peace. It's calmness. It's amazing. Breathing is really a tool. It's like smoking this. It activates the endocannabinoids in your body.
Actually, smoking this is changing how we breathe. So in a way, without this, we could just, without the joint, and it would basically have the same effect. Because it's different type of breathing.
That's a funny concept. We could try to make a breathing method where it's pretend smoking joints.
My friends taught me this. An older couple from England, when I was doing the festivals and stuff, they shared a story with me about one time when they had no weed and they really wanted to smoke and they were going a bit crazy, and then they decided to make a pretend joint. So they really took the weed and ground it up and made the joint, and as if it was real, but it wasn't. And then they would share it, and then they were both giggling, and they really described that it was as if they'd really smoked a joint because of the power of the mind and believing and creating this scenario where, okay, now we're doing it, it's happening. And the way you breathe, it's different from before, the way I was breathing, and I don't.
For sure. The joint thing is also like anything that's an influence on your state of mind. Everybody has different opinions about this. I have my own, and I'm gonna explain my own. There's the most gurus say that like you're always stoned if you're happy within, if you've activated all your chakras and you're at peace. Then you're always stoned and you're tripping a little bit because things are activated in your brain. And I totally agree with this. It's totally true. You should not alter your state of mind if you're not already happy. If you're not happy and you're smoking weed to get happy, then that's like an escape of reality. And that's a part I've done, a part of my life, probably you've done, we all done a little bit. But once you find the happiness within, most gurus say, no smoking, no tripping, no things, no nothing, because you have everything within. But then there's the Rastas, they also meditate, they also find happiness within, but they keep smoking. Shamans.
Psychedelic dealers.
Yeah, they give psychedelics, they do psychedelics. But according to a shaman book or shaman book, whatever I read, they do psychedelics until they reach a stage and then they just help people take psychedelics. But that's their way. I have my own way. I keep tripping, I keep smoking because I know what I love to do and I know everything is one. I'm happy without it, happy with it. There's healthy things to use for sure from nature that gurus say that you don't use because you have everything within, but I have a different idea. Everything is one, so why not use the perfectly amazing plants that we have on the planet to alter our minds? But first, find yourself, know yourself, love everything you've ever done into the now, and then start creating your thoughts instead of having an unconscious mind that's constantly flowing. Start creating what you want to do in your mind and then do it in the now. Get a vision of what you want to do and then you get up and you start doing it, and the now will take you to the perfect future. Just believe in yourself, believe in your dreams, believe in love. We are love. We are the expression, physical form of love. We are the source, we are God. And this is how you become a God. And there's no the God, it's just a God, and it's within, and everybody has it. And you become your own personal God that can create any reality you want. You're the master of your own reality. You create your own life, you create your own dream. live your dream. That was all I wanted to say for this video. You have anything to add? Kisses.
Love yourselves.
Love everything. See you in the next video. Peace out.